This video is of my journey to self-acceptance and my pathway to professionalism. And in this first video of probably what is going to be a series, I just kind of like to lay out my story and talk about the mission going forward, exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I'm making such drastic changes, I think, in my life right now, and hopefully get you guys with the preface of what is actually going to be happening on this channel and in my life going forward. And if it is of interest to you, it's probably a journey to follow along with. So let's dive in. So my journey to self-acceptance is like many other people's journey to actually figuring out what it is that they want to do with their life. It's long, it's arduous, it's full of ups and downs, it's full of lots of long nights of asking, like, what am I even supposed to be doing here? Why am I doing any of the things that I'm doing? And it can be difficult, and I feel very comfortable now, like many years into this, to actually be releasing this video. So the first point to note is that if you're struggling to like kind of figure out your place in this whole crazy world that we live in, just know that that's totally normal, because everybody struggles with that. So growing up, I was like always thinking quite differently to a lot of people in the same age group. Like nothing really ever made sense to me. There were a lot of things that were like kind of solvable. For example, tests, exams, education, those things I could solve them quite easily. I was good at tests. I did well at school. I didn't do too well at sixth form because I started to play something that I found to be really unsolvable. And that unsolvable thing was the game, the wonderful game of Texas Hold'em, poker. I haven't played any of the variants, but specifically Texas Hold'em. The minute I started playing it at 16, it was just like this thing, and I was like, oh my god, I can beat people at this, and I can earn money, and I can get better, and it's pretty much an endless, infinite game where nobody really has got it figured out. And I was immediately drawn to it. I'd play it all the time as I could at my friend's house, Stevie P, if you're watching this, and all the lads there. We'd play home games. I was obsessed. I'd play it all the hours. I'd play online under different accounts when I wasn't 18. And then when I got to 18, I was just playing more and more and more, and I absolutely loved it. It was like this thing. It was like kind of like an addictive drug for me, and I really, 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 really loved it. Throughout uni, I didn't play as much. I was still kind of trying to figure things out, and I followed the classic: go to uni, get a degree, you'll get a grad job, things will all be fine kind of vibe. Even though we all know that that's not really true. Anybody that's been through it, pretty much nobody gets a grad job, and even if they do, they don't really like them. So through uni, I wouldn't play too much poker. I played at the casino like my first year. I did well. I actually earned a fair amount of money for my first year at uni, probably in the region of over a whole year, probably in the region of £2,500, which doesn't sound a lot, but when you're at uni, especially in your first year, that is quite considerable. Second and third year, I didn't live near the casino anymore, so I played online. I'd like deposit 50 quid, 100 quid here and there, but nothing too serious. And then after uni, I started to really ask myself questions of what I wanted to do, because I always didn't really fancy the idea of a job, but I wasn't really a professional back then, and I didn't have any concept of how to even like motivate and discipline myself to work for myself as a poker player. So I didn't do it. I worked in a couple of factories. I was working in a supermarket from 16 all the way through to 21. So I was just doing anything to avoid playing poker, essentially. And then on September the 10th, you might have to date check that, 2014, I graduated uni. I was diagnosed with stage 2 Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I know I set that up as like it was going to be a good thing. It's obviously not a good thing. It was terrible. And at 21, it wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting, now I'm a uni grad, come on, I can go and travel the world and do the things. It meant that I spent 2 years in recovery. And during that time, I finally had permission to accept the fact that I wanted to play poker more seriously. And back then, Twitch, like a streaming service, was just getting up and running. But I had a MacBook Pro. And the software back then didn't support streaming through a MacBook Pro, or at least I couldn't get it to work with the audio and the things. So I just never chose to stream any of what I was doing, except for one 15-minute random stream on a Friday. I didn't stream. I didn't do any of that. I wasn't involved in making content. I was just playing, and I was playing a lot. And it was kind of like my way out of all of the treatment, because I could go to my room, I could just load up the tables, I could put my headphones on, and I could just drown out all of the pain that I had in the real world. I could lose myself in this beautifully infinite game that is extremely difficult to win at, but extremely rewarding and fulfilling, and it tests every element of you. And I loved it. You know, it was difficult. And I used to say to, and part of this video is me owning up to the fact that I used to kind of lie about my results to make them look better than they were. I wanted to embellish how good I was at this game and like how much money I was making. And I never quoted figures, but I'd always say, like, people would be like, oh, how much money did you make this week? And I'd be like, oh, well, like, you know, like, it was enough. It was okay. And I had some pretty okay tournament scores. I won a $1,200 tournament once. I was doing fine. And my bankroll always floated between $1,200 and $2,000. It's on all the sites are in dollars, not pounds. But I never really moved on from there. And for 2 years, I never went back to work. And I did fine. I made enough money to kind of like cover my own needs. And I did okay. But I was not really a professional. Like, looking back, I didn't take it very seriously. I didn't study at all. I obviously didn't stream anything. I wasn't actively learning the game. Yes, I'd have study sessions, but it was done with a very boyish attitude of just get through it and get back to playing, because that's a good thing. So I never really grew as a player. I never really grew a following. I never really grew anything other than just the skills to play. And I'm glad I did it. Obviously, I became disciplined. I could handle emotions better than before. But I didn't really give it my all. I didn't really go all in on it. And it kind of intimidated me to do so. So that finally ended at 23. And at that point, I had a decision to make, like, do I continue this poker thing or do I go back into the real world? I did neither of those. I started to go traveling. I wanted that freedom. You know, I'd been in the hospital for a couple of years. That traveling took me first to Australia for 7 weeks. And I was playing a bit of online poker then. Nothing again too seriously. I only had a little laptop with me. But I did fine. I played at the casino a couple of times. I won money. It was okay. But again, still not that professional. And then I went to Vietnam to teach English. And I did like a real course. It was cool. I was there total, and I never remember this. I should probably go back and check it, but I believe like 18 months in and out of the country teaching English. And when the jobs, because I kept moving jobs to get paid more and more, because I didn't really care too much about teaching English, to be fair. I just wanted to get paid well. I would still play online. I'd play home games over there, and I realized that I had a significant edge, and I was a lot better than the average person offline, especially around like just random groups of lads. Nobody really knows what they're doing, and I'd obviously played, at this point, around 500,000 hands online over a 3-year period. I was playing a lot of tables, obviously, but still not making that much money, but I had a lot of experience. And then after my Vietnam trip kind of ended, I ended up back up in Scotland, living with an ex-girlfriend. I was working as a barista. And I still then considered, like, oh, maybe I could go back to this poker thing. Maybe I could do it. And it was still nagging on my mind. But I put it off. I kind of convinced myself that it wasn't the thing for me. And I went into network marketing, which was like a start your own business from home thing. And I was relatively successful in that. I wouldn't say like I was making absolutely obnoxious amounts of money, but I was doing better than I had done before teaching and better than I had done before with poker. And I followed that through, and that was all the way up until around January of this year, 2020. And I really started to lose passion for that. There was a lot of politics involved with the way it was ran, and I started to fall out of love with it, the whole thing, like how it, just generally everything, actually. I didn't really enjoy many parts of that after years of doing it. So I moved on from that, and in the meantime of doing network marketing, I became an accredited coach. I was taking on clients. I was helping those people through their problems and their lives, and that was going really, really well. And I still love that, and I still do that. But all the while, and through all of the traveling I've done, I've been to a lot of countries, 35, 40 countries. I should probably make a list. I've got lots of stories, had some crazy times that I'd love to share on this channel going forward, and I will be. But all the time, the whole time, I'd always been connected to the poker community. I'd back row view people on Twitch. I'd know everybody on YouTube. I'd watch interviews, podcasts. Still to the present day, I just love the game. I love everything about it. I love how difficult it is, how much it demands of you as a person. It takes a lot of time. It's hard work. I don't know. I just love it. And that had been going on for years and years and years. But all the time I'd been like putting it off, like not accepting to myself that I want to do this. I want to try streaming. I want to try and build a community. I want to try and build a brand and make content consistently, turn up a lot. I'd always wanted to do that, but you know, I just never really did it. And I kept having opportunities to do other things. I started a successful group that started this year. I've got an extensive array of digital marketing and coaching skills, and obviously the ability to move my hands a lot on video. But the whole time, every day, it would get to 10 a.m. and I'd be like, man, what I'd really like to do now is go and play some poker. But I never gave myself the permission to do that for a million different reasons. And then COVID happened, COVID-19. I don't know if you've heard about that. Hopefully I don't get copyright banned for saying those words on YouTube. That happened, and during that time I was with my current partner, the amazing, wonderful Catherine Hemlock, who I love to pieces. We were over in America. We'd flown to Vietnam. I went back there last year. Flown to America. We bought a van. We were driving across the country with a cat, having a right old adventure. It was crazy. I luckily got a visa extension, which was cool. But about 3 weeks ago, I had to leave the US to come back to England. I'm now back in my dad's house. Nowhere's really up for rent. I don't know what I'm doing long term. Airbnb around here doesn't really exist because I'm in just near Wolverhampton. So I'm very grateful to be here, but obviously it's just a little 1-bedroom setup. Here's my bed that will be getting moved for a Thai mattress at some point. And I've got more time on my hands. And the current business venture I was doing is great. I love coaching. I love doing that stuff, but there's a lot of time in the day to kind of kill and really build something. I like to be productive. And I just had this thought. I was like, what if after 6 years of finally wanting to do this, finally accept myself that that's what I want to go and pursue, even though it's the land of the unknown, even though it's the land of I have no clue what's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be successful, whether I'll make money, whether I'll grow, or whether it'll just crash and burn. I don't know any of those things, but I'm going to give it a shot. And I'm going to be streaming on Twitch a minimum of 3 days a week. I'm still trying to figure out the best schedule because I still want to run my coaching business, and I'm very, very passionate about helping other men in their mid-20s like actually get their life together and learn how to make money, learn how to become a good man for their woman, how to build a legacy, all the things that I'm passionate about. I still want to be doing that, but I can't put it off anymore. You know, I cannot put off this nagging feeling I have so often about poker. I know I'm good at the game. I know I can learn, and I'm a completely different animal to what I was 6 years ago playing. I'm much more professional. I've got a way better mindset. So I'm going to give it a go. And I want this video and this series and this journey to professionalism, and I'll document it all on here. Obviously, it's live on Twitch, but it will be on here. The highlights, I'm going to be doing behind the scenes videos, a lot of mindset stuff about like routine and how to think and how to coach your way through life, because what I've found in poker throughout the years is that it's an emotional roller coaster of highs and lows, and it's difficult to win and all of those things, and you've got to keep turning up even when it's not great. It teaches you so much, and that plus coaching plus 3 years of network marketing plus 40 countries plus 4.5 years of travel, all of these things, I feel that I'm now ready to share my value back to the world and actually give back all of the lessons I've learned with the intention of helping you become the best version of yourself. And I'm not saying that you have to follow this to make money from poker, because you definitely could. It's going to take more work, but if you take the same principles and apply them to anything, I know that you're going to make more money, you're going to be happier, healthier, fitter, just like I am now. If you look at a picture of me 6 years ago, I'm overweight, I'm broke, I'm unhappy. I had hair, that's one spoiler. I'm a very different person now, and I'm really, really excited for this journey. I'm obviously very nervous. I have no clue about how it's going to go. I don't know how to stream on the software, but I know I can figure it out. I'm starting tomorrow, which will be Monday, the 27th of July, 2020. And I'm going to go really hard in the tank for a minimum of 3 months, a 90-day window, and then reassess, because again, life moves quick and sometimes projects go up. They turn out to not be that. And I'm going to be totally honest, that could happen. But at the same time, it could be something, and it could open up loads of doors. I know that I can help a lot of other poker players that are way better than me with their just like life balance, because it's all connected, and I want to be able to like bring that to the table too. I want to grow a network of great people who just love the game. They love to improve. They love adventure. They maybe like golf. They maybe like fishing. All of the things I like, hunting, all of those sort of things. Create more content around that. And yeah, it's been a long time coming. I feel really good about doing this. And if you want to stick around, you know, join in with that journey, There's going to be a lot of free content coming your way, really valuable content. I'm obviously going to have investment opportunities with coaching side as well. Full transparency just works. That's why I don't hide it. And we're going to have a whole lot of fun. I can already got lots of ideas. I'm really excited. And yeah, that's kind of this video. If you want to stick around for that journey, if you want to hear more about that, I've got lots of stories to tell. We could do Q&As. I don't know what we're going to do, but like, drop a subscription, drop me a comment. Like, I'm not looking to grow this to a gajillion people. I don't really care. I prefer to have 50 people that are all well sound lads or girls, if there are women watching this, which would surprise me. But maybe not. I don't know. It's been posted on my Facebook, so probably there is actually. But I want those people to be really high quality and really build something here that matters more than just a subscriber, more than just a number for me. Is like, oh my God, look, he's got 1 million subscribers. Isn't he great? Like, I don't really care so much for that. I just like to live life and improve every single day, and share that message to try and improve the world every single day. I think that's like a pretty good way to live life. So that's something that you want to do. Drop a comment. Let's jump on this journey together. I'm really excited about where my hands will take me over the next few weeks and months. Thank you all for watching. This has kind of been a brief introduction to my story. And I am going to do a full version of that, because there's obviously a whole lot more to the cancer. There's a whole lot more to the travel, the relationships, the money, the business, all of those things. But stick around. It's going to be a riot of a time. I'm really excited, and I wish you all a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.